Wroclaw. Coach, how do you pronounce it? How do you pronounce it?
Wroclaw.
There it is. Wroclaw Panthers. Coach Christensen, thank you so much for joining us here on ELF Live. Where are you right now?
Phoenix, Arizona, about 65 degrees out.
Oh, there you okay. Very, very nice. I'm quite jealous of that. It's freezing here in southern Germany. Coach, obviously pretty reasonable, successful season last year, you guys making the playoffs, but I want to even kind of go a little bit before that. You've had this great coaching career in the States, coaching for years, high level, Division I, Wyoming, all sorts of places. How did you end up coaching in Poland? What is your story that brought you to Europe?
Yeah, it's interesting. I retired after the 2000 COVID season and played golf every day, traveled, did whatever I wanted to do. Thought it was, I'd coached long enough. It was, I had a great run, had a fantastic career. And then I was sitting home drinking coffee one morning with my wife, and I, buzzed through the stuff online. I see an ad for head coach for Poland. So I said to my wife, I said, "Hey, you want to go to Poland?" She goes, "Why?" I said, "Well, they need a head coach." She said, "Send your resume in." I said, "Really?" I said, "It is." And I'm thinking, well, they're not even going to respond. I didn't even send a cover letter. I sent a 10-year-old resume that I didn't even check the spelling on, no introduction letter, nothing. And 3 Zoom interviews later as the head coach. So, things happen.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
that's kind of how my story went too, honestly. Like, I feel like a lot of guys go over to Europe like with I'm done coaching in the States. I don't know what the heck is going on over there, but let's just see what happens. And then someone like you who has the resume that you do has the luxury of now stepping into a head coaching position at the highest league in Europe. But I feel like that's a story for a lot of people.
Yeah, it is. And, it was fun. We had a great time. We, had a lot of work to do. We had a change of culture, and we're still in the process of doing that. But the kids had a great buy-in, and it put fun back into coaching again. We don't have to worry about NLI and transfer and all that bull crap that you're dealing with now in the U.S. I mean, it's the wild, wild west over here in college football. It's free agency. It's the highest bidder. That's not why I got into coaching. And so this has been just a blessing for me. Just excited to be back out there putting an organization together schematically, getting players and having a little success in our first year. So we didn't come close to what our expectation is, but I think we've had a good off season. I think we've evaluated and picked up pretty high level players. I know the players that are in Poland right now have been working out 4 days a week and training, and so we've improved those players, and we're excited about the next season.
Yeah, Coach, you said you guys you didn't necessarily meet your full expectations last year, even though you had quite a successful season, making it to the playoffs, of course. What were your expectations coming into this football season, coaching in Poland, both kind of off the field, I guess, because this is not just a new football league, but it's also a new culture for you. So did you have any expectations in either of these?
Well, to be honest with you, it's hard because, I told them when I interviewed for the job, if I don't have the support to win at all, I'm not interested. I'm not over here to explore Europe. I get to do it along the way, but man, when I'm coaching to win, period. And, if I get to see some places on a bye weekend or when we travel, great. But, I'm a football coach. I'm competitive, man. I want to win a championship. That's all that I want to do. That's what I'm driven to do. And so anything short of that, we're going to fall short of our expectations. And it was interesting because somebody put out an article that we would finish 14th to 17th in the league. And I taped that next to my desk, and I looked at that every single day, 7 days a week, 14 hours a day. And it motivated me. And I'm sure now that, we've opened some eyes, and people will probably take a little bit better notice of what we're getting done.
Absolutely, Coach. I mean, I think. Yeah, go ahead, Sas.
I was just gonna say, how is the language barrier for you in Poland? Do they speak English pretty well?
Yes, the majority of our players speak English. Well, they all speak some English. Everybody in the office speaks English. The only one that doesn't speak English is my owner, and so they translate for me. Sometimes you go to restaurants, they always have English speaking waiters and English on the menu, and so it wasn't difficult at all. And a little bit of a language barrier, but not bad. We were able to communicate well, and I can guarantee you I got my point across, especially when I was pissed off.
That's international. Doesn't need a translation problem. Yeah. Coach, the schedule came out this past week, and somebody in the chat has just said that Wroclaw has the toughest schedule by far. If they make it to the playoffs this year, they'll really deserve it. Do you have any initial reactions to seeing your guys' schedule for 2024? Obviously, you pulled for your out-of-conference game. Your out-of-conference team is the Surge, who was in the championship last year. What's your thoughts about your guys' schedule here?
Well, and Frankfurt was in the playoffs. So, I mean, we're going to play 8 times against playoff teams in our 12-game schedule. So, great. Thank you, ELF. Really, I don't really care anywhere, anytime, anyone. Doesn't matter to me. We'll line up and play, and we'll be prepared and ready to play. It's going to be a challenging schedule. There's no question. You got 8 of your 12 teams are against teams that were in the playoffs. And I'm sure the teams that didn't get into the playoffs are doing everything they can to make sure they're better than they were a year ago. So, it's a challenging schedule. It's certainly one challenge that we're looking forward to. And, we focus on one game at a time. And so, we'll open up the season with Berlin, and when we get done with that, we'll get focused on the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. And even that you guys have Frankfurt as well. That's you guys pulled a nice, challenging schedule for 2024, but it sounds like you guys are up to the challenge. So, Coach, you guys made it to the playoffs this year, obviously, after being picked 14th out of 17th to start the year. So some might say you exceeded expectations by some people's standards. What are your guys' expectations for 2024? And you guys are making a lot of noise with some of the signings that you guys are making, signing a lot of good players, high-quality players. What are the expectations for 2024? Or what can we expect from the Panthers this year?
Well, obviously we talked about how difficult the schedule is. It's going to be a challenge. We don't focus, on getting in and win the championship. That our number one goal in our organization is win an ELF championship. Okay, so we know that. That's a given. That's the top of the ladder. That's the ultimate goal for what we want to do. And so all we can do is prepare one day at a time, make sure that we're doing everything that we possibly can when we're together to become better football team, better football players. And so then we'll focus on 1 week at a time, because you start looking ahead, then, it ain't going to matter. You're going to get your ass beat and you're not going to have a chance. So we're going to focus one game at a time. We know we have a challenging schedule, but really all we can do is look at the team that we're going to play on that particular week. And our expectations are never going to change. We got in the playoffs last year, and that's good. Pat us on the back. Big deal. We lost. I want to play until I win my last game.
That's good, man. That is good stuff. I love the tenacity. I think you're right there. There is this balance between going to Europe and traveling and getting to know the culture and doing that fun stuff with I'm here to win. And it makes sense why you guys went 8-4. 8-4, for those who don't know, that is a very good record in this league, especially for teams that, there are big gaps. There are big gaps. There's always been big gaps in Europe, and those gaps have always been with the German teams at the top, the Austrian teams at the top, teams like Poland, all around historically, no one's ever even heard of them. So for Poland to be 8-4 in this league last year, for those who don't know, is a really big deal. I played on a non-German Austrian team, and we went 3-9, and those 3 wins were a battle. So clearly you're doing something right over there, Coach. And I'm excited to see what's brewing in Poland.
Well, I tell you what, when I took this job a year ago, I didn't even know there was an ELF. I had to look it up online and learn about it. Okay. So certainly you would understand when I got there, the ability to sign import players, I had no clue about it. And we were late.
Right.
The season ended this year and we got through the next month and then we started, going after players. And, my goal was to go out and get the best players that we could possibly get that would give us a chance to compete at the highest level, that bought into our vision and what we want to do. And I think we were pretty successful at the players in which we were able to bring on. It'll be a lot different than we were a year ago. And as I said, we've improved in that area. Our local players have worked extremely hard. We're still fighting the battle of, football has only been going on, since the 90s or 80s or 90s in Poland. It's been being played in Germany since World War II. So the number of local players is not the same. And so we've got to do everything in our power to teach the game of football, bring the game of football along in the country of Poland. And then we also got to spend our time, and we've done that, in developing the players that we have to make them the best possible players they can be.
Fantastic. Yeah, and that's a great point there, Coach, is that with these homegrown players, especially in a country like Germany where it's been around for so much longer, you just have that much more development. So kind of fighting that uphill battle there. But you guys are doing an awesome job over there in Poland. Obviously, it was a fairly successful season last year, and I'm really to see what you guys busted in 2024. I know I am. And Coach, thanks a lot for coming on the show here and talking a little ELF football with us.
Guys, I really appreciate you having me on. I'm looking forward to getting back over there. We have mini camp coming up in a few weeks, and then we get on with the season. It'll be exciting. The ELF is doing a great job, and it's growing. The popularity is growing, and it's just exciting, and I'm excited about our organization and our team this year.
Absolutely, Coach. So are we. Thank you again for joining us today, and good luck this year.
Thanks, guys. Have a great evening.
See you.
You too.